How's it going? Wooden Spoon SuperCoach here. Round 13 is done and dusted. Bit of a tough week. Max got the crown again on his freshly trimmed head. Looking good over there, brother.
Thanks, mate.
1208 for me. 1334 for Mac. He's clawing it back. Hitting us with those top 1% scores again after the last week he did really well as well.
La-
You've been going
yeah,
well.
last week top 1%, this week top 4. But look, it's all right. Captain Reith Welsh show was a pretty scary ride there for a
Yeah.
moment, but up 7,000 ranks. I hope I am climbing up still. Being at 50,000 last week, so yeah, definitely got a long way to go still. But things are looking pretty good. And looks like things have been pretty good for the punters. A bit of a win on the prize pool as well last week. Did I see?
On the Origin one, yes. The main prize pool,
Okay.
no. Shots
Ah,
and Project Spartan will probably be happy to hear that, knowing their bets didn't get up, but like you're just as far away from each other as you were last week. I think it was Cats and Cubes got New South Wales win Hudson Young anytime, so $10.50 has been added to the prize pool, up to $60.50 for that one. If you're not aware, we're doing another little mini sort of competition for the Origin League. Code's on the screen there, 526427. Jump in there. We'll be putting bets on for the Origin games as well. And whatever you guys can manage to win in that will go to whoever takes out that league. Nice and
nice.
easy.
Closed the gap on you a little bit this week, mate.
Yeah.
126 points the difference. So I'm down to only 370 behind you. So that could be, one good captain option. Nah, a couple of weeks though, and I reckon we could be right there. I'm looking pretty good for round 15, and I know a lot of people are struggling with it. I mean, I'm a bit nervous about it, depending on injuries and stuff. But at this point, I'm actually feeling pretty good about round 15 as well.
Yeah. I was bitching and moaning a little bit about my injuries for the Origin period and how I put so much time and effort into planning for it and everything. But across the board, it sounds like everyone is just in the depths when it comes to Origin numbers. And I have managed to scrape together a full team every week so far. And I look fine for the rest of the Origin weeks as well. So I think all the preparation has paid off, just not shooting ahead like I hoped I would have. But now I'm like this week, for instance, haven't made a trade. So that's kind of how I'm getting ahead now, not necessarily with score and rank, but by saving trades, which will let me play a bit more aggressively on the run home. So I'm very happy with where I'm at. No complaints.
Nice,
It's kind of
nice.
crazy
Yeah,
that
look.
370 points is that much of a difference in the ranks.
Yeah, 20,000 people apart with 370 points. So, yep. Hopefully a couple of big scores, and I'm right there with you in that sort of top 20,000 area. But yeah, Origin is looking a bit scary with prospects like Reece Walsh and Finifuiaki probably actually going to be in the squad this time. I might need to make some trades or have a look around, but yeah, look, like you said, a lot of people done heaps of planning, and then it's just like the chaos of the injuries and the selections has just thrown all that planning out the window. So, pretty happy with my statement from a few weeks ago of, yeah, I'm not going to look too hard into it, and I'll just sort of play each buy round a week or two in advance. I'll have more of a look at that one, but I'm not going to
Yeah,
plan the whole period because it's just a waste of energy.
that's it. Even though I feel like I've been planning since, week one. Like literally my original team, if I was stuck between two players, I was picking the one that had better origin cover. And it has actually worked out for me okay. So
Yeah, nice.
yeah, God. Anyway, we'll move over to the teams.
Oh, I'll
Not
be
those
looking at
teams, that's the wrong one.
TLT.
Yes. I did I feel like we had this conversation off camera with the round review videos. I feel like there's less interest in going through every single score at this time of the year. When there's, really significant stuff, we'll cover it. But, we don't need to know what Ashton Ward's scoring, for instance.
Yeah.
We'll just put more of our energy into planning for the upcoming week. And I feel like that's probably what the viewers will get the most value of. So that's the plan.
Cool.
Um,
Let's do it.
yeah, and I'll also just mention, sorry for missing the earlier video this week. I've started my own business recently, and it is popping the fuck off. I'm a very busy boy, which is awesome. But yeah, if Supercoach has to take a hit, that's just what I've got to do. So sorry about that in advance, but I'll still do my best. So we've got the Seagulls and the Rabbitohs. Um, I saw Manly post a reel about turbo loading. So he's going to be back pretty soon. I think we might have a bye after this game, and then we'll see the return of Tom Trbojevic. And you bet your ass I'm getting him straight in. I'm going early. I'm ready to be heard again. I don't care. I can't wait.
Yeah, fair enough. I knew you would, but yeah, not for me. I got to tell you what though, Falolo, he actually is really good. Yeah, I've
Honestly,
been quite surprised by how good he's been. But I personally am not looking at any Manly players for the bye period at all. Yeah, so
I picked Lehigh up when Kohler got knocked out just for the cover because it's really good cover, bit of a potty option, so I'm happy with it. For me, I would be not even the slightest bit upset if Manly dropped Garrick and put Turbo in his spot. Garrick
yep,
has been stinking it up. Not for lack of trying, but it's almost like he's trying too hard. Like in the game gone on the weekend, he threw a hospital pass to Saab, who was like a meter off touch, and he just gets tackled into the sideline. Like,
yep.
there's been a few little situations there where it's like, fuck, like he's off to the Roosters next year anyway. Like, let's just see what our squad looks like without him. Although we do kind of need him for the goal kicking, so I don't know. I'm talking shit. Changes for Manly. Kohler and Hamoli are both back in, so I do like our chances against the Rabbitohs. We really missed their attacking flair in
Yep.
the last game. Yeah, we were diabolical. Less said about that, the better. Um, I
Uh,
wouldn't be trading either of them in, obviously, because Origin and that.
from memory, I tipped against the Sea Eagles last week's video, and yep, got that one right. I said you were due for an L, and that is what happened. So yep, few people back for the Rabbitohs, but are you looking at any of them?
Yeah, so we've got Fafita, Campbell Graham, and Cheese. Gray at fullback, Latrell Siegwalt, Campbell Graham. Yeah, there's a lot happening. Latrell Siegwalt is going to catch the eye of a few people. He's got a decent break even. He will play a bunch of games with Latrell Mitchell out, and when he comes back, he'll go to Origin if he is fit enough to do so. I I think you could probably get away with that if you have 20 plus trades because he's not a set and forget in your team. You are going to want to get rid of him again. For
Well,
my team at the moment, I'm avoiding that.
the problem is his positions in Supercoach. He's like a halfback, 5'8" dual. Like that's
Mm,
if he was CT Dub, he'd be the most traded in player. So I mean, if you got Pezzett and maybe you need like a 5'8" or something, and the cover works for you, then I mean, I could understand doing something like that because yeah, he will play for the next few weeks. The cover for the Rabbitohs is pretty good. They just missed 16, so yeah, that's fine if it works for your team. But yeah, just like you said, you will have to trade him back out again at some point. So it's essentially two trades, but it will work out for a few weeks. Um, yeah, Dave Fafita, definitely not until we see how he comes back from injury. And I also suspect that his minutes will be down. He won't be playing the 80 minutes.
yeah.
So yeah, look, I'm not going to be going towards Dave Fafita or Brandon Smith. I'm not trading at hooker at all. So yeah, look, there's really nothing here that excites me about either of these teams from a super coach perspective, at
Yep.
least until the origin period is finished, and then maybe Ola Kawatu or something, or if Fafita's minutes look like they're up quite high, then maybe then. But there's so many good forwards, like I don't know if we need to be messing around with that. So
Yeah. I haven't looked too heavily at TLT yet this week. I've just had so much on, but something that's catching my eye right away. I probably prefer Campbell Graham over Latrell Siegwalt.
yep,
There might be a bit of a argument that Campbell Graham could find his way into Origin. He's been there before. I don't think so.
no,
Um, but yeah, he could be a guy that goes off and ends up being a guy that you could keep as like a center wing 5 or 6 maybe.
yep.
Um,
Remember how good that right side of the Rabbitohs was at the start of the year, with the threat of Fafita and Walker and Latrell all out on that left edge. Whenever they went right, they had really good shape, and Campbell Graham looked like he was on fire. So yeah, like I'm actually with you, and I'm bringing him into my draft team. But
oh,
I
nice.
don't know about Classic. I just don't know. I don't think there's really any good CT Dub options at Classic this
Yeah.
week. So
I
Yeah, he's
think,
probably one of the better ones, but it's not great.
yeah, I think I've got his sort of like 400K ish price tag in my brain from the start of the year. If he's much more than that, then I probably can't recommend it. I don't think he'd be too much more expensive. If I had to guess, I'd say low fives.
I'll just have a look for you really quickly here. Bear with
Sweet.
me 1 second.
Something else I'm also really happy to see with David Fafita coming back is that Tallis Duncan is still lining up on the edge.
Yep.
Hopefully he stays there because in the centres it's a little bit dire.
Yep.
Um, I don't think that's going to be relevant for too many people. I jumped on him on the week he scored like 150 or whatever, and he hasn't left my team since.
Yep.
He's
Campbell
been a little bit
Graham five.
underwhelming.
Campbell Graham 513. So yeah, he's
513.
a little bit more than you would sort of hope for. Mid-range guy
Yeah,
that you might get stuck with. He might be good, but he might not. I don't know. I wouldn't do it.
fair
I
enough.
don't think there's really that much in this game. But who are you tipping? You're going to tip your boys, right?
Yeah, of course, 13 plus.
Yeah.
I
Oh man.
genuinely think that's a good tip as well. That's not just maroon tinted glasses. I genuinely think we could flog them here. Now that we've got all our boys back, it's a bounce back game as well. We're going to want to um, kind of re-establish ourselves as a threat. So yeah, don't mind it.
No, it's a bit of a toying cost for me. I'm just going to go against you for the fun of it. So yeah, I'm going to go Rabbitohs 1-12.
Fair enough. We'll make it entertaining. For the next game, Storm and the Knights. So the main changes we've got here Meaney's out with a calf injury. Falongo took the goal kicking last week, which was surprising to see. I don't think it was really beneficial to him. From memory, I think he missed more than he kicked, or he maybe missed 2 out of 5 or whatever. I can't exactly remember, but he wasn't hitting him amazing. But in saying that, it's still a bit more ceiling to be added to him, so can't complain about it. What else have we got? This Wateri guy comes into the centers. I don't really think it's the time of the year to be bringing in cheapies. If you're like desperate and you got no money in the bank and you just need to field a guy, it's probably the only reason that I could justify
Well,
doing that.
yeah, even then though, Xavier Coates will be like not far away. So
Yeah,
it's
true.
just yeah, like I wouldn't be messing around with this. Um, And Munster with the Origin stuff, it's like not really a trade in, even though you want to get him right now and he's a good price. It's just the timing isn't right. So yeah, Farlongo genuine VC option this week, scored 92 points without a try, had 3 incredible line breaks,
Yep.
has now got the goal kicking for at least a month or so while Nick Meaney's out. Sucks for everybody who traded him out last week. I know had a few mates trade him out for Reece Walsh. Yeah, so you kind of want him back, but yeah, it's a tough one. And on the night side, though, Fletcher Sharp moving to 6 after Sandon Smith getting injured last week. He played the last sort of 20 minutes or so there, and that's where he scored all of his SuperCoach points. Great short ball to Dylan Lucas, who just ran away for a great try. So if Fletcher Sharp's a good target, but it's just a bit of a weird week with the buys. Like he'll cover 18 for you, which is a tricky one, but not 15, and that's the pressing issue for a lot of people is the round 15 coverage. So I was actually considering to bring in Fletcher Sharp as like a long-term season hold, but because he doesn't help me in 15, I think I'm going to try and wait until sort of round 16 to do something like that.
Yep.
Yeah, so bit tricky there. And yeah, a few people probably looking at Marzu's break even and wondering if it's worth trading him out or not. But I just think with the matchups, like and the back line that they've got, like you hold Marzu's surely. He's a
Yep.
number that's playing. Again, if you're going to trade him, you wait till 15 when you can trade him to somebody that you know is going to be playing next week. So yeah, like I wouldn't be trading him out. Um, but yeah, so people that are actually warm bodies on your squad this week, like I personally recommend don't trade them.
Yep.
If you can cover it, then like you're doing, Jake, no trades this week is a great option if you've got the numbers because next week is going to be tricky. If you're making any trades this week, you're probably trying to plan for something for next week. To get somebody to cover 15, and yeah, these guys aren't going to do it for you. So probably nobody really that relevant from Supercoach side of things, I don't think, in this game. Other than mentioning Fletcher Sharp and Dylan Lucas as season keepers, but again, I think round 16 is the target for them.
100%. I have been rather chirpy about wanting to get Fletcher in as soon as he's ready. And I think that is now. I think
Yeah,
he's going to really start to put some scores together, potentially get out of reach, but it's just not smart for me to do it this week. I've got Marzu and Lucas, so bringing in a third night with that big buy coming up, just not smart for me to do. And
yeah,
also, I can let Tamari Martin fatten up and then swap him to Fletcher Sharp when it suits my team better. So, more than happy
yeah,
to let him rise a little bit. Tamari Martin's going to rise alongside him, and I'm not really losing any money from it. So, I
yeah,
think that's the plan for
yeah.
me.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think this is the time, and if you, but like he's ripe for it. But if you've already got 2 nights, like a lot of people do, then you just can't do it.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you did, you could roll a 6, and he'll come out and ton up for you this week, or you could roll a 1, and he comes out and gets injured, and then you've traded him in, and then you got to trade him out anyway and stuff. So it's a bit scary, but yeah, look, I'll probably just wait until round 16. Who are you tipping for this one?
Oh god, this one's hard. I think Melbourne have kind of broken free of their shitty form, but the Knights have looked really good. And Fletcher Sharp is in the six, which I really like. Ponga's playing. I genuinely don't know here. Um, I'm gonna back the Knights because I've got two Knights and I've got one Storm player.
Fair enough. Amy Park, 6 p.m. Friday night. I gotta go to the Storm.
Yeah,
They
that's
they
fair.
need they need the wins. They need it more than the Knights. Knights are top four. They're flying, and the Storm need to win like 9 out of the next 12 games. So yeah, they're gonna need to be fired up. And I think the experience of Munster and the spark in attack from Farlongo is just going to be a little bit too much for the Knights.
Yeah, yeah. I think if the Knights do win, they'll have to score at least 34 points, something like that. Just quickly before we move on, a lot of people are selling Lasardi. Can't back it. Like you were saying
No
before, you
idea.
can't be selling warm bodies at this point of the year. Even if you were selling him to get like a Terrell May, just find another way. Lasardi has
Yeah,
been so good. Um, I'm sure, what's his face? Hughes is going to get him over the line for a few more attacking stats.
yeah.
He's not been that bad. This is still a
He
guy that we
dropped.
brought in for bottom dollar, and he's averaging 50 to 60 as a low point. Like, it's fine.
Yeah, he's averaging 73 for the season. They generally win when he's in the team. He would have scored 90 on the weekend if he had have not got the ball punched out of his hands while he was diving over the try line. Like it was that close to 90, and then yeah, nobody would be doing it. So yeah, I'm with you. This is that's one of the weirdest trade outs I've seen all
Yeah.
season. Like maybe it's planning because they have the bye next week, and you're trying to get ahead of that or something. But I'm with you. Find another way to bring in some coverage because Lasardi is a season hold.
Yeah, that is a good point, to be fair. If you're absolutely chopped for next week and you do need to make a move this week so that you have enough moves to be able to make next week to field the full team, I still don't like it. It's just, he's such a
No.
weapon.
Yeah.
If you can find another way, find another way. Yeah, he's a gun. And I don't
Agreed.
want to sell him at all. I love the guy.
Yep.
But yeah, unfortunately, I am tipping the Knights. I say that with very minimal confidence. I'm just saying that for the sake of my Supercoach team.
We forgot to tell the folks at home to get your tips in the comments at the start of the video. So if you if you forgot about that, we're mentioning our tips here, but get your tips in the comments, folks. We'll put some bets on, and that's what helps to increase that prize pool. So yeah, I'm sure the regulars will already be all over it. But yeah, don't forget put your tips in the comments.
Yes. And we will come back to the Origin one first video after game two teams lists are announced,
Yep.
which I don't even know when that is. There doesn't seem to be a concrete time on it ever, but I'm sure we won't miss it. Why am I scrolling past here? We got Raiders and the Roosters. Probably another one that's going to be pretty hard to tip, to be fair. Um,
Yeah.
so Dane Laurie in at center. He was lock last week, which was weird. Um, I didn't actually watch the game. I don't know whether he actually played there or if it was just like,
Yep.
wow,
Yep,
yeah,
he was
wow,
good too. Something like 40 tackles. He was reliable. They did good. They looked really strong. So yeah, Raiders at home. This is why we didn't captain Drinkwater last week. We knew it was going to be tough. And yeah, Raiders showed up. They delivered. A little bit disappointing on the minutes side of things. Tarpany get a bit of an early shower. Both the big boys there, Taps and Horsburgh, sort of around that 50-minute mark. Not exactly what we were thinking for bye coverage, but they still scored well, so that's fine. Yeah, look, there's actually one down in the reserves who might spark some attention here, and it is one Mark Nawangani. So
Yes.
yeah, there's a strong chance that he actually does make the side this week. Not sure who drops out for him, like if it's a Billy Smith or something, because Billy Smith was quite good. So it's a bit of a weird one. He's quite high price and high break even as well, with a like a 2 or something in his rolling average due to that injury affected game.
Yep.
So yeah, it'd be great if he plays this week, levels out his break even a bit, fixes up that rolling average, and then he's probably a target for next week because they do play 15. So
Yep.
yeah, Nawangani Tawase is one to watch here.
If he was to play this game, I don't feel bad about missing it.
Hmm.
Raiders have looked good. Roosters haven't. Um,
Hmm.
Granted, they had a lot of players backing up from Origin who just didn't look good. Sam Walker going into the top 10 worst scores of all time before he got updated to -1 for whatever reason.
A bit
Um,
unlucky. He got sin bin with about 5 seconds to go. So,
but
but yeah,
he was on negative before that, and he played
yeah.
the whole game. It was terrible. I am very glad I sold him. Wow.
Mm.
Um, is there anything else to go on here? Yeah, Billy Smith, Ramsey in the wings. I think Ramsey would probably be the guy to drop out. Billy Smith's been like Robbo just loves him, and I can see
Yeah.
why. He's a good player. He's just very fragile.
Billy
Um,
Smith and Savala were actually really good on that edge
yep,
together, and so yeah, I'm kind of with you that if Nwangani Tawase comes in, it probably is Cody Ramsey who drops out, who had a bit of a tougher game. So yeah, I hear that. Teddy, anyone still got Teddy? What do you reckon? What do you do? Do you get rid of him? His break even's like 190 something. His origin, like, is he going to back up? Is he going to be available? Like, you don't know. Like, surely get off Teddy at this point, right?
I haven't put too much thought into it because I just as soon as the teams lists were out, I was like, yep, get rid of him. Like there
Yeah, I
wasn't
know.
even a second thought. But if people
Yeah,
were to hold him, I know that there are a lot of Origin players being held. Um, Particularly with his performance last week, is it even really worth having him for the games he could potentially back up if he does? Last week suggests to me no, so I reckon sell him.
yep. Sell him. Use the money to get somebody that's gonna, score you well this week for sure, and hopefully get somebody that could cover you for next week as well.
Yep. Get yourself a Farlongo if you sold him. If you sold Farlongo and you still have Tedesco, maybe you could make that correction trade. That is very dependent on how many trades you've got left.
If you got
If
three fullbacks, then I maybe pop him into flex and get like a forward, like a Terrell May or something like that. And then maybe next week you could trade out one of your dud forwards or something and bring back another fullback or somebody else. Like use the flex position to be flexible over the next few weeks. If you've got Teddy, I reckon just get rid of him.
Yeah, if the only scenario that I could back holding him is if you have like 17, 16 trades left and you are just trying your absolute best to not spend trades on guys that you know you're going to get back in,
Yeah.
then sure. But he has been pretty good before Origin as well. So yeah, he is going to be a run home target. Um, if he is probably the first one you want to cut though, out of all of the Origin guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, team dependent, which every decision is. But I'd say for 99% of teams, yeah, get rid of him.
Yep.
Have we got any other changes there? I think that pretty much covers it.
I'm gonna tip the Raiders at home again. They'll get
Yeah,
done.
yeah, me too. I think the Roosters will have a bit more of a go this week. Not that they didn't last week; they just looked gassed. Yeah, Raiders will still get it done though. They've looked. I don't even know how to describe it. They've got something back that they were
Yeah.
lacking for a little while beforehand. Um, that's the best way I can put it. I'm back in the Raiders, probably in a
Raiders
close
are
one,
back.
1-12 in classic Raiders fashion.
No, Raiders 13 plus. I reckon they're going to steamroll them at home. They're pumped up from last week.
Yeah, we got um, Ethan Strange. He'll probably have a big game. Yeah,
Yep.
I rate it.
Yep.
I rate it.
They've unlocked him as well. He's allowed to float around the field and do whatever he wants now. So, yep, Ethan Strange
Yeah,
could be a after Origin target for your team to finish off the season.
yeah, I don't mind that
Yeah.
because he
Yeah.
has been putting scores up throughout the year, just not super consistently. But maybe this little confidence boost could see him. Yeah, 5-8's all of a
Yep.
sudden not looking so dire for the run home.
That's right.
Cowboys Dolphins. How many points do you reckon get scored in this game?
Yeah, if I'd be tipping the overs.
Yeah, no max
Even if
unders this time.
it's 55 or something, I'd probably still be tipping the overs.
Yeah,
They're probably 60 plus. Yeah. Geez, there's some targets in here, but there's also some sketchy stuff going on, like Purdue. Do you get rid of Purdue? Like he's cheaper than he was to start the season. Like
yeah,
if he's in your 5-8 position, absolutely hold.
yeah,
Because there's not that much really happening there right now. CT Dub, if you need numbers for next week and he's one of the ones that's going to on the block, then I'm happy if you go early and bring in a number for next week. Yeah, you probably aren't playing him in your CT Dub this week, so yeah, I think it is sort of around that time where you kind of have to, you're sort of forced into it. But for me, I've got him in 6, so I'm actually just going to hold. I am going to get rid of Pezzett and bring in some cover. And it's actually on the other side, Cody Nikarima, back from a hamstring injury, averaging over 70 in the last 3 games, and that's including the game where he did his hammy. And yeah, look, the Dolphins' attack seems to have clicked now that they've worked out the ruck speed and playing up through the middle of the field and stuff. They're looking really dangerous again, like everybody expected them to be this year. And Nick Ream is a huge part of that. He's bottomed out. He's only 500,000. And yeah, he's going to really good buy coverage. Covers 15. Well, covers from now until the end of the Origin period, but 15 and 18, the two tricky ones. So for me, I'm actually jumping off Pezzett onto Cody Nikarima this week as a bit of a temporary play. He's not in my plans for the run home, but he's going to cover the next 5 weeks or so for me really well, I think. So Cody Nikarima is flying under the radar. Nobody's really talking about it. He's actually had a
yeah.
pretty good season so far. So
He's had a really good season. Really good. He's been a an unsung hero for me in years past as well. I've got a soft spot for Nicarima. He's just so exciting to watch as well. I can't believe the Dolphins didn't re-sign him. Like that is one of the better halves combinations in the comp, in my opinion.
I think it's an age thing.
Yeah.
He's up there. He's up there. So
Oh, I
yeah.
suppose the injuries are starting to yeah, that's fair. But that's a shame. That's going to be a
Mm,
tough one to see him retire because he's so entertaining to watch. What
yeah.
else we got? Herbie named, Nicarima named, Origin players returned. So Hamaso, Flegler, Cobo, and Plath. God, Cobo was good in Origin. Why can't he?
Yeah.
Why can't he have done that for your team for the past couple of months?
Yeah. Well, to be fair, the effort was there the whole time. Like he was putting it in the work. He just wasn't quite getting the results, and the results started to come right after I traded him out. But luckily, I had him in Origin, so that was pretty good. My Origin team didn't do too bad. So yeah,
Less said about my
Cover.
Origin team, the better.
Yeah, look, the thing is here, if you need Dolphins, and depending on the position that you need to get rid of guys for your cover for round 15 or something, maybe Bostock is an option for you. If you don't have Isako or Herbie, they're options for you. Um, Cobo, no, because of Origin. Nicarima, yes, won't play Origin. So, yeah, in the forwards as well, they actually do have Lemuelu as a great option. Finifuiaki, I'm actually quite scared that he's going to now be in the game day squad for Origin, so I'm probably not going to have that number. Like we were kind of gifted with him being 20th man last time. With the Pat Carrigan injury, I can see Finifuiaki getting promoted onto that bench and actually missing 15 and potentially 18 as well. So it's a bit of a bummer for me. I considered like going sideways to Lemuelu, but yeah, trades are a bit scarce. So probably have to find another way to manage that and just hold on to Finifuiaki. But yeah, like there's some really good options here. primarily because of the buy coverage.
Yeah.
But yeah, like a Bostock, a Nicarima, a Lemuelu, these three guys, depending on which positions you need, get rid of one of your Cowboys or something that's on the buy next week, and yeah, bring in one of these guys. I reckon it's a pretty good idea.
One more name I want to throw into the mix there. Anyone looking for a Brayley replacement? Jeremy Marshall King has been amazing when he's fit. He can find an injury, but hopefully he can string a few games together. I don't mind him. He's got very, very good cover. He's got a decent ceiling. I wouldn't be surprised if we see him string a few scores together here. Um, Another guy that has been an unsung hero for me in the past, so don't mind him at all.
Yeah,
Over at the
I'm
cow.
not.
Oh,
His
gone.
break even's quite high, and I'm not sure what his minutes are going to look like. Like, are they playing Plath in
Oh,
nine
true.
for
I'm
the
looking
first
at
20,
14 here. Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
then and then bringing him in? Like, it's a bit of a weird one. It's priced awkwardly as well. Like for a benchy that you don't know what the minutes are like. I don't know. It's tough. If he was starting, like if you found out game day that he's actually starting 9 and Plath has gone to 13, then I'm with you. I reckon get him. But
Yeah,
named
I
on the bench,
fully
if he's
thought he was just at 9 there as I was looking at it. But yeah,
yeah,
14 is a lot less appealing.
yep, sketchy.
That is a good point, though, from you. If Plath gets moved into the forwards, Marshall King comes in. There's also the conversation about him starting at 9 when Plath's off at Origin, but you don't want to make a trade based on, just those couple of weeks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
cool. Over at the Cowboys, Cotter returns in lock. Sonny Luke's on the bench, which is not great for Reed Marnie, but honestly, the if you're a Reed Marnie owner, I don't think you'd be too upset. He's been killing it for you. Um, Probably not a
Been a roller
sell.
coaster.
Yeah, it sure has. Um, One that
It's
I'm
also
kind of
probably not a
glad I've
play.
been off in the end.
If you, yeah, if you've got somebody else, then you probably want to play like your Harry Grant or something over him this week. If Reed Marnie's your hooker one, then I mean, why? But but also, yeah, like maybe you just don't worry about it. It's a bit of a dud spot. Like you trade him out next week for somebody who's playing, I guess. Like, yeah, it's a bit of a weird one. But yeah, Sonny Luke on the bench, it doesn't scream good for Reed Marnie's minutes, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm definitely happy as a Pasco owner. Very much thanks to you for being an eagle eyed viewer of his over the last month or so. What would you suggest to people who have the combination of Brayley and Marnie? What would you do with Brayley in that situation? Would you just go to cheese and then use the funds elsewhere?
I'd go Brayley to Pasco as potentially the hooker three. At the end of the year, we're
Yeah.
gonna look at it and we're gonna go Brayley, Grant, Pasco. It's gonna be like, where did he come from? This kid started halfway through the season and made his way into hooker three. Like he's really good.
Yeah. He
So,
is really good.
like, I would actually just go Brayley to Pasco. The other option is the Sharks replacement 9. I forget his name at the
Beryl.
moment, sorry, but yeah. So I mean, he's a good cheap option that's probably going to play 80 minutes because that's how the Sharks like their 9s to play.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, I'm personally like I like cheese, and I just don't see it as a super viable option. Like he's been in and out of the team. He's probably not going to play the minutes that you want. Like you don't really want to be messing around at hooker. Like I would just get Pasco, and then when Brayley comes back, you just upgrade your hooker two back to Brayley and yeah, move Pasco onto your bench. So yeah, like
Yeah.
yeah, I'd go Pasco still. He's a weapon.
If money's an issue, I don't mind the Beryl shout. He has carved it up in trials for the last 3 years that I've been watching him. I love this guy. He's got attacking flair. He's maybe not just as good as Brayley, but he's up there. He's a very good player. He just can never get into the team because Brayley is so solid.
Yeah.
Did you hear the chat about Brayley realigning his broken arm himself?
Yeah, he did it himself, didn't
Oh,
feel it, and now he wants to be back in 3 weeks. Like, what?
what a tank. Oh
I don't know if this
my
kid's
God.
human.
Yeah, that's, oh God. I like, my arm hurts thinking about that. Jesus, what a weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah, not too much else to touch on for the Cowboys, so I think we can move on. I think
Cowboys, Dolphins. up in North Queensland, Dolphins are on the fly at the moment. They're so good. Cowboys, they have a rough week in them here or there. Well, it's tricky, but the Dolphins are basically full strength. Like you got to tip
Yeah.
the Dolphins, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm tipping the
Yeah.
Dolphins, but 1 to 12 because I think the Cowboys are a very consistent roller coaster. They go good, then they go shit. They go good, then they go
Yep.
shit. And I think they're due for a good game, but I
Yep.
don't think they're going to be good enough to beat the Dolphins.
Exactly. Well said.
Beautiful. Let's move on to another Queensland Derby. How,
They've
how
done
do
this
you feel
specifically
about
for
this? Go on.
About what? Sorry. They've done this specifically for Queensland Day, by the way. Saturday is
Ah,
Queensland Day, so they got the Queensland Derbies happening. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
that is cool. It's like
Um,
a mini magic
yeah,
round.
yeah. How do I feel about what? Sorry, the Broncos versus
Are you
Titans.
are you confident going into this game after last week?
Oh yeah. So 10 minutes, the Ezra Man was off the field. Broncos were a totally different side. Reece Walsh had the reins and scored basically his entire 70 points in those 10 minutes. I mean, maybe I'm exaggerating. It was probably like 60, but but
It
still,
was a good
um,
majority of them, I can tell you that.
yeah. Look, Grant Anderson looking to prove himself. He's an absolute weapon in attack. Like, I'm sure he's going to do a good job and get really involved, probably more involved than Shipazaki was getting. Ezra Mam out of the side. It means Reece Walsh is going to be sweeping on both sides of the field. It's going to be Reece's team. And yeah, look, anybody bought Walsh in last week and captained him, it was a nervous watch. But geez, I'm tempted to captain him again this week. At the moment, I've got it on Herbie, but I might just flip it to Walshy as a big pod play because I think a lot of people are going to be scared off, and a lot of people may not have the versatility in their team to actually execute a vice captain loop on a game that's happening in the middle of a Saturday. So yeah, look, if that's a really important thing too, folks. If you've got VC on somebody, make sure you have looked at your team and you know how you can switch and make sure that your loophole actually works. Because for me, for example, I'm going to have to VC Farlongo because I can't loop any other way than in this game. So yeah, look, it's a tricky situation, but yeah, I'm actually quite confident that the Broncos get this done easily. But they will leak some points, hopefully more than the Titans have been able to score so far in the last few games. They've gone like 12, 10, 12 or something. So hopefully the Titans can score 20 points, but the Broncos win 40 something to 20. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It smells like that. It's got that feel. To like towards the back end of the season last year, where Walsh could just come into his own. There's a lot of stats about how well he does with Payne Haas in the team, and also how well he does with Ezra out of the team.
Exactly.
Um, so yeah, we before we press record, we were jumping through every hoop possible with my team, figuring out how I could pull a loop on Walsh, and we found a way. So little
Yep.
spoiler for the captain selections there, but we found a way, and I think it's just a really good pod play to somehow get an armband on him this week. Definitely
Mhm.
don't have the confidence to put the straight captain on him, but I do quite like the fact that he's got the vice on there.
Yeah, look, because I can't do the VC loop on a Saturday game. Like I got to do it on the Friday. So I'm gonna I'm thinking about it, but I might switch the captain to him. But I personally think Farlongo is going to be the guy this week. If you've got Farlongo, then you definitely want to VC him because yeah, he's due for some tries and he's got the goal kicking as well. But yeah, like it's a tough one. There's a few players in here that I think are quite relevant. So Walshy. Probably don't buy him because the Origin threat is looming.
Yeah.
If you've got excess trades, like more than 20 trades, then by all means, just play some roulette with your fullbacks or something. Get him in because this matchup is ideal. Like you said, Payne Haas back in the side, Ezra Mam out of the side. Both things that work good for Walshy. So it's a really good option. Jaden Campbell on the other side. It's kind of like flying under the radar a little bit as an option. He's been moved around. He has been down on tackle bust this year. But the most recent game they played was he had the most runs that he's had out of every game so far. I think he's finding his way in the sixth position, and I think after the bye they should feel quite comfortable. They've got Pasco back in there as well, so yeah, I actually think Campbell is a really good option. Anybody that's getting off Hines because it's turns out he's not going to play until 18 or something. Hines to Campbell is a really good idea. And then in 18, Campbell's going to get that dual position. So you can just move him down and he becomes the six that you hold for the rest of the season. And at that point, you just move on whoever you've got sort of filling that role at the moment and bring Hines back or something. So I think Campbell's actually a really good option, especially with that dual incoming. As much as it hurts me to say, because I've had him all year and I'm happy for people to stay away from him, so he's a pod. He's projected quite low against the Broncos this week, but I suspect he could actually be in for a big game. I wouldn't be surprised if Jaden Campbell tons up this weekend, and yeah, all of a sudden he's super popular again next week. So I'm sort of saying get on early. I think he's a season hold, hence why I started early with him. Yeah.
I do think I've been a little bit vocal about not wanting to invest in the Titans too much, but I do think Campbell and Pascoe, they're probably the only two guys I'm going to consider over there.
Yep.
Yeah, Ara Maho's back in the side if you're a glutton for punishment. Not sure how he's managed that, but good on him. Um, this isn't going to be relevant for many people, but I decided my last reserve was going to go on Tolty this week. Mainly because Carrigan's out. So there's a chance he gets more minutes. It was between him and Makasini or Tavana. Definitely not picking either of them coming up against Penrith.
Yeah.
So if
Well,
you're in a similar
Pres-
boat, yeah.
Preston Ricky only plays about 20 minutes and then comes off, so that'll be Ben Tolte's time. And then, yeah, like if the Broncos are scoring good points and he's getting a few little breathers under the posts, then I could see him staying on for majority of the rest of the game. Otherwise, he'll play 40 minutes. He'll be solid through the middle. The Broncos have a good matchup. Like Tolte's fine. Anybody who has him, you could play him for sure. But yeah, uh, don't trade him in, of course. Xavier Willison, if you don't have him, he is still a buy in the sense that with Carrigan out, I mean, he was already good cover, but he's better in the middle. Even on the right edge, he's better than the left edge. So wherever they play him, like he's been putting in big minutes, big workload, can find a try, can get an offload out, and yeah, in the middle, he's just a weapon. Carrigan's out for 4 to 6 weeks, so you can still get Willison even now. You've missed a lot of the price rises, but yeah, he's a gun.
Yeah, it's you can't talk about Tolty and then not talk about Willison. They're so relevant at the moment. Willison probably more so. I wish I could go back in time and get Willison over Tolty. I don't think I was able to afford it at the time. And I knew
Yeah,
that Willison was going to be the better option, but that doesn't make Tolty not an option. Like he's still
yeah,
this is what I bought him for. I wasn't planning on playing him this week. It just so happens that Carrigan being out for injury rather than Origin seems to work out better for Tolty than if it was just the Origin minutes he was filling in for. So it's worked out all right for me in the end. I
yeah.
assume you're tipping the Broncos for this one.
Yep. Broncos 13 plus, like I said, probably 40 something to 20 something. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Reese
was
Walsh
gonna be
show.
fun and go with the Titans, but I can't confidently say that. I'm gonna go Broncos
Yeah.
13 plus as well.
Yeah. Reese Walsh show. If you've got
Hope
him,
so.
you want an armband on him, even though it's very scary.
Oh yeah, it's either gonna be scary or you'll just be there with an ear to ear grin the entire time as he goes up by 20-point blocks every 10 minutes,
Yep.
which is so
Yeah.
fun to watch
Oh, and Jaden Campbell as well. Great option. Seriously.
for sure.
His
Tigers
tackle busts
Panthers.
are down. Sorry, I just want one more thing on Jaden Campbell. His tackle busts are down, and they haven't been scoring that many points this year. But aside from that, he's averaging higher than he's averaged in a season before, and that's with a slow few games. And now the back half of the season, their draw softens up, and they've got a bunch of home games towards the end of the season as well. So Jaden Campbell is a proper shout for like a season hold. If you looking for a halfback, get him in now. You can move him into your sixth position later when you bring back in like a Cleary or a Hines or whoever you're trading for him. So Jane Campbell's serious option.
That is very scary. The fact that he's averaging more than he was in his full season last year with the
Yep.
Titans scoring a couple of tries a game. If they
Yep.
sort their shit out and their attack starts to click, like he could be one of the half options. So,
Yep, that's exactly right. And especially if he starts busting a few more tackles again as well. Yep.
yep. Yeah, maybe I'll have to have a little bit of a closer look at him. Particularly, we just got to see what happens with Nico. It's a shit show.
Mm.
Cool. Tigers and Penrith. For the Tigers, 12. 1 to 4 weeks, which is so helpful. That
Mm.
1 and 4 weeks are very different scenarios.
Yep.
Um, I don't see any issues with trading him to Terrell May this week. If you're doing that, though, you're probably not going to get him back. At least that's the way I'd look at it. I actually can't afford to do that because I have $600 in the bank in Supercoach, and Terrell May is slightly more expensive. So that kind of made the decision for me. I'm going to hold until we have a bit more information on how long this injury layoff is.
Yep.
Um, Even if it is 4 weeks, I'm pretty stacked in the forwards, so I might just hold him regardless,
Yep.
and may even get Terrell May in another way. But then
Yep.
again, we've got Payne Haas probably coming into all of our teams pretty soon. So he might be one that I'm just okay to let go.
I hear you. I played around with this. Don't have Terrell May, so I was definitely looking at Twal to Terrell, and I've decided just to wait a week because, as you said, 1 to 4. Worst case scenario here, you roll a 1, and basically you trade him out, and then next week he's back, he's named again, and it's like, what am I doing? Like, why am I wasting trades? So I'm gonna wait and see if he's not playing next week. I will switch him to Terrell May because I need Tiger's big boy up the front for numbers next week. And yeah, at that point, I probably won't end up with 12 back in my side, exactly like you're saying. On the Payne Haas thing, probably should have mentioned it in the Broncos game, but people are trading in Payne Haas this week, and I just don't understand it because he'll play this week and then he's going to play 1 out of the next 5 games. With the Broncos schedule and the Origin looming, like he's going to miss 15 because of Origin, miss 16 because of the bye, he'll play 17. Then he's going to miss 18 because of Origin and miss 19 because of the bye.
Yeah,
So
that's
I don't
gross.
understand why people are trading in Payne Haas. You need to get your Payne Haas as your target for round 20. So yeah, for sure at this point, while if you're trading him, then it's not to Payne Haas because Payne Haas is not going to play. Like he's going to play 2 out of the next 6 games. You need people playing in 15. That's a very tricky round. So yeah, it's a Terrell May. And honestly, if you hold 12 and it turns out to be 4 weeks, like if you can cover the numbers for 15, then I reckon just hold him. But yeah, so I'm personally waiting a week because if I do it this week and then he's named next week, I'll be absolutely kicking myself that I've essentially wasted a trade there. So yeah, I'll just wait and see. And if you can cover this week without trading him, I recommend that. Like for example, if I did it this week, I'd have to sit one of my front row forwards like Stefano, and yeah, like while Terrell May is better than Stefano, it's just it seems like a bit of a waste of a trade to get like a 20-point buff maybe in 1 week and then you have to
Yep.
trade back anyway. So yeah, I recommend wait and see what the official news actually comes out to be.
Ideally for me, say 12 was going to be an extended layoff, I would need Terrell May to come out and somehow score a 60. And then he'll drop that like 2 or 3K that I need him to drop so that I can just do that straight swap and 600 in the bank's enough. Definitely not going to be banking on that happening because he is just an
Yeah,
absolute weapon of a player.
no, he'll play big minutes. He's probably get scored 90 or 100 or something. So like Terrell May most traded in player this week for a reason. Alex Twal most traded out. Don't really understand unless you're doing the straight swap to Terrell and you plan to just hold Terrell for the rest of the season and not get Twal back, then I can get it. But if you're planning to get him back, then it just seems like you should just wait a week and see what happens first.
Yeah. And also, only force these trades if you need them for the upcoming buy rounds, I would say.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like there's a lot of people just chasing the popular players at this time of the year, and they are going to do what I did last year and run out of trades in round 24. And then
Yeah.
Cleary gets rested, and maybe not Harry Grant, but the teams that can afford to rest players, all of a sudden you're stuck with them, and all of a sudden you're down 2 players for your grand final weeks in your head to heads. So make sure you
Yeah.
bank a few trades for the end of the year.
Save trades if you
Macassini's been
can.
named, which is good for me
Yeah.
because I've got him and
Yep.
Tavana. That must have just been like a burner in his shoulder because
Yeah.
typically shoulder injuries aren't a 1 week recovery.
You're not going to play Macassini this week, are you? Though that's just a
No.
good number for next week, right?
Yeah, yeah. I've got Tavana as
Yeah.
well. I'm
Yeah.
stacked down in the center wing.
So yeah, next week you've got a couple of boys there, which is good.
Yeah.
I'm pretty happy with. I was actually going to trade Macassini out and maybe get like a Kiraz or something, but with Macassini being named to play, well, that's fine. Now I've got that number for next week, and Kiraz doesn't cover next week. Plus, there's actually a bit of an injury cloud over Kiraz there. Apparently, he might have done his calf in the warm up before the game last week. Still bust
Oh
out a
wow.
ton, but he had to go off with a few minutes to go. And yeah, look with Connor Tracy sort of looming in the reserves there, it is a bit scary. They may just rest him this week and then give him next week with the bye, and then he'll be good to go. But yeah, look, Kiraz. If it wasn't for the bye, I'd be going Macassini to Kiraz this week. But the bye plus Macassini's named plus the injury cloud, yeah, you just hold Macassini for a number for next week, and then sort of reassess it in round 16. I reckon.
Yeah, personally, when it comes to Kiraz, I'd probably be aiming for him 1 or 2 weeks after the Bulldogs' final Origin period bye. Because the dude has like a kilo of tape on him every week. Like he's not 100%, and I mean clearly he doesn't need to be because he's still scoring really well. But
Yep.
yeah, he's just one of those guys. He's kind of like Holmes for me. It's not really the best comparison. I've never had Kiraz absolutely fly for me. I've brought him in and had him get injured for me a bunch of times. Um, so I've got that kind of looming in the back of my head. And just seeing him strapped up to within an inch of his life every week doesn't strike confidence into me. But in saying that, he is a guy that I want to finish the year with. I just want to make sure he's gonna stay in one piece.
Agree. They don't cover 15 or 18, so he's a target for round 19 if he can stay healthy between now and then.
Yep, sounds good to me.
Yeah.
What else have we got here for Penrith? Origin guys are all back. Cleary, Yo, and To'o. Um, I mean, there's never really much to say about Penrith. They're always fairly settled. Guys come in and replace rested guys when they need to. They perform just as well.
Mhm.
Um, there might be a couple of people looking at trading in Jenkins this week just because he's at a decent price. It's a good matchup. Do we think Jenkins is a potential run home guy? I think he's on the fringe because he's very, very rocks or diamonds.
Look, I've still got him. I've not traded him out this whole time, and he's so very close to getting some more tons. Like he bombed a try assist on the weekend that would have stacked his numbers a bit better. And yeah, look, I potentially as your CT dub, 5 or 6 or 7 CT dub's pretty stacked. I'd say he probably is. But if you don't have him and you're looking for a Panthers CT dub to bring in this week, I think the answer is Paul Adamotti because the guy is on a break even of 4. When
Wow.
Cleary goes to Origin, Alamonte is the kicker. So yeah, like I think that he's probably the sneaky shout that's flying under the radar a bit. He's bottomed out, basically bottomed out. He's dropped 122K so far this season, but now he's just started to pick that up with a small price rise of 33K this week. He's at 520,000, break even of 4 points. Has the goal kicking when Cleary's at Origin, or not backing up from Origin potentially. So yeah, I think Alamonte is the guy that you want.
I was just thinking, when To'o gets rested, or if he gets rested, he may end up on the wing. But if To'o is going to get rested, maybe McLean gets rested as well, and then there's a center spot for him to fill in. So yeah, I don't mind it. Paul Alamotti seems like the kind of guy that scores near enough 70 to 80 a week, which any other year is like elite level center wing. It's just that this year apparently you need to touch 200 to be considered a gun. Uh, I like it. I really like it. There won't be many people on him. good little pod,
Yep.
good team.
Yep.
Something with the Panthers I want to just keep in mind that I touched on a little bit earlier. They are so clear in first. I think it is very, very likely that some players get rested towards the end of the year, and that
Yep.
always catches people out. So that'll be Cleary, Edwards, Yo. Uh, they're probably the main guys. So you want to be careful with them. I don't really think there's too many other teams. Storm used to do it a lot, but they're not really in a position to do it this year. So, I mean, Cleary, everyone's going to want for the run home, so you're not going to avoid him just because of that. But maybe a Dylan Edwards, maybe around round 24, you could just look at who's got like the best matchups for the rest of the year and then get rid of Edwards just to remove that risk. It's caught me out
Mm.
a few times. It's kind of something that you think like, oh, we'll just see what happens, but it catches people out every single year. So
Yeah.
definitely
Well,
keep that in mind.
I think we said last week that Edwards was probably the pick of the fullbacks, but we assumed that he was going to get the goal kicking, and he didn't.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if he did, his score would have been a bit better, and he would be the sort of slam dunk with not going to Origin. You'd go Teddy to Edwards or something like that. But yeah, not getting goal kicking. Yeah, look, Alamotti, I think is the guy, like you said, 3 round average 69. So yeah, he's been good the last few weeks. Goal kicking when Cleary's out, and like you said, he's probably going to get rested after Origin because they're flying up the top of the ladder. They don't need him to back up. So yeah, I think if you're looking at a Panther this week, it's Alamotti.
Sure. This is off topic, kind of. Last week in one of my head-to-head matchups, my opponent had Jenkins and Dylan Edwards. So you have no idea how happy I was to see Jenkins bomb that pass back onto the inside to Edwards. I went from
Nice.
screaming out of anger to like, yes, thank God. And then that, I think he still beat me anyway. Fuck you, Blake.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Well, just quickly though, Panthers they do have the bye next week, but then they have the 19 instead of 18. So if you've got numbers for next week, you could bring in Alamotti, but you do have to be aware that he's going to be off next week. And then 18, they will play. So that's one of those weeks where Cleary's away. So yeah, and then they have the bye on 19. So really, he's only got the goal kicking for that one extra game, which is round 18. So
Okay.
maybe not that much of an option, but still he's been playing well and he's bottomed out and he's got a good break even. So yeah, maybe not this week, but I think he's the pick of them if you are going to trade one in this week.
He's a good little center wing 5 or 6 for the run home, like a depth guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't mind it because he's such a good player. It's
I'm gonna tip the I'm gonna tip the Panthers 13 plus here.
yeah. How can you not?
Yeah.
Although
No,
Pan-
no,
the
no, and then
Tigers have pulled off big upsets on the Panthers before,
no,
and they have
no.
all their guys back. Don't worry, I'm not tipping them.
You're dreaming. You're dreaming. You're trying to give them hopium for no reason, mate. Just no,
Yeah,
there is no hope. There's no hope.
I mean, I think everyone would like to see it, but yeah, Panthers are gonna smack them up, I think.
Yep.
And I believe that's the nope.
No, and
Never
there's a
mind.
Monday, as well as one more on the Sunday. Yep. So we've got 2 more games to go.
Oh yeah, true. It's not a I'm used to the Origin period. 6 games a weekend. So this will
Yep.
be good. Maybe I'll actually stop working so much and actually sit down and watch some footy this weekend. I think I've earned it. Rightio, Sharks and the Dragons. So the most relevant thing for my team here is that Kale Iro is named in the reserves. If I had to put money on it, I'd probably say that he doesn't play. Because it was a leg laceration and apparently also an infection. So if it was just the laceration, I'd have a lot more confidence that he plays this week. But the infection as well, they can linger. So I don't feel great about that. I don't think he's a sell or anything. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. If he comes in though, then my center wing is looking crazy stacked. I'd probably have to drop Lehigh Hopewadi for him. So I've got plenty of options down there. What else have we got
Yeah.
over at the
Look,
Sharks?
If he was named this week, I'd probably trade him in for like a Macassini or something because they have good buy coverage. But yeah, it's a bit sketchy with him not being named properly. Look, Eero and Hines are both on my targets for the run home,
Yeah.
but look, we're probably looking at getting them both in around 18. So
Yes.
yeah, probably a watch this space kind of situation. I
Yeah.
do want to touch on Trindle though, with Hines out, Trindle's the big dog, and if you have like a Tamari Martin or something that you could move into 7, then yeah, you could go like Hines to Trindle for a couple of weeks until Hines comes back. And I actually think it's a better option than like both of us start of the season said don't get Trindle. But with Hines out, he's actually the big dog. So
Yeah.
it's viable. It's actually viable. He does the goal kicking. He's a key playmaker. He scored over 100 points on the weekend. Like it's actually a pretty good option. So yeah, look, I don't mind that as a bit of a weird direction to go for in your halves there. But just keep in mind that it is a two trade play because as soon as Hines is back, you're getting off Trindle and back on Hines.
I think Trindle is like the new Dave Fafita in terms of like being the pin-up boy for Rocks or Diamonds. He, oh, dude, I couldn't do it to myself.
Yeah,
Sure, when Hines is out, he absolutely kills it. And don't get me wrong, he's a gun player. Um, it's just so strange how I can't remember another halves combination. How do I do words again? Where game to game, one is so dominant, then the other's so dominant in such an extreme, like opposite ends of the scale. Like Trindle will score a single digit score while Hines goes massive, and then Hines will score maybe like a 30 or a 40, still
yeah,
getting some tackles and everything. And Trindle goes massive. It's so seesawy.
yeah.
Um, it's just that Hines
Look,
has the better base. But honestly, until he's back, I don't mind it. You'd want to have a fair few
yeah.
trades though.
I was tossing it up because like I need coverage for 15, and Jonah Pezzett was a dud that was just sitting in my team doing nothing. So that was the position that I needed, and it was, to me it basically came down to Trindle or Nicarima. And because they do have that one buy in there, and I could probably just keep Nicarima as my 582 for the rest of the season in worst case scenario, whereas I wouldn't feel as confident with that with Trindle, I decided to go towards Nicarima. But Trindle has a better break even, and he probably has a higher ceiling with Hines out of the team. But yeah, it will drop back down again as soon as Hines comes back. So, like, I definitely think it's an option. If you've got Pezzett and you're trying to find somebody to make up some numbers for next week, then I seriously think Trindle is right up there as probably like the second best option behind somebody like a Nicarima.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I do like Nicarima a lot more purely based on the fact that he's not going to hurt you. Like he
mm.
might get, an underwhelming score here and there, but he's not going to do nothing for 80 minutes.
Yeah, he's not going to
Um
score 8.
and I'm
Yeah,
also just having a really tough time recommending Trindle with what I've seen
yeah.
him do for the past few years. It's
I'm not recommending it per se. I'm just
yeah.
saying it's actually viable and I actually understand it this time, unlike the start of the season.
Yeah.
And it's purely because Hines is out. But yeah, it probably is going to cost you 2 trades because you'd have to trade him back out later.
Yeah.
But I can understand it, and it's doable. It works. Yeah.
I think I'm happy to concede that I've been wrong about Trindle in terms of like the entire year, because I was saying like he's awful, don't go there. There's no reason to go there, but he has put out some massive scores. He's leveled them out with some stinkers, but in terms of an average, he's actually done okay. So
Yeah, he's averaging 65 for the season. He's the fifth best 5'8" at this point.
yeah,
So,
God,
yeah.
that does
I'll put
speak
it to
to
you
how
this way.
bad the position
If you
is.
if you had Trindle instead of Cody Walker for the whole season, you're actually ahead of Cody Walker. So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that would have been a better option for you. Yeah.
Oh, that hurts.
I got Jackson Purdue who's slipping down that list quite fast. He's number 3 still though, so like I can't complain too much, even though he's had some rough few weeks. That's why I said if Purdue is in your 5/8 position to just hold still, because the only people better than him are Munster and Clifford, and you can't get Munster because of Origin, and Clifford has had a bit of a role change, I guess, with Dearden out, so he's in a bit of a slump until Dearden comes back, and so yeah, Purdue's kind of the best 6 at the moment still, even with his 50 pointers. Yeah, look, also Dragons, they don't cover 15 or 18, so you probably don't want any of them. Val Holmes has finally done something great for me. Held him all this time. Now people are considering to buy him again, and that's exactly what I was afraid of and why I didn't trade him out. So yeah, I'm gonna probably just keep him in my CT dub 6 or 7 for the rest of the season. I'm not playing him this week, that's for sure. But I'm glad to have him at least. And yeah, look, but don't buy because the buys.
Yep. Only
And
other relevant guys I'd look at are the Couchmans. As always, they're beasts. I think Toby
they,
Couchman is a run home option.
yeah, but
Maybe after
round
the
15,
buys. Yeah,
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 15 and 18, it's just you just can't. You just can't.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think after the buys, I might flip Ryan to Toby, and I'll happily play him every week. He's been scoring like 85 in base, like week after week after week after week. Ryan's just as good in terms of like points per minute. He just doesn't get as many minutes. So if I can
Yeah.
get
I'm just
the higher minute guy,
I'm
yeah,
just not trading warm bodies at this point. Like, just there's
yeah,
that
yeah,
many injuries. You literally you can't plan to do sideways trades if from one playing guy to another guy that's playing. Like, you have to save your trades for when one of you guys gets injured or they're on a bye or something in a week
yeah,
that you need numbers. So
yeah.
yeah,
I'm
I
talking like
I
round
just wouldn't.
20 probably. I'd look at doing that.
Even still, right? By the time you get to round 20, if
Yeah, it's a good
you
point.
if you actually have enough trades to do something like that, like seriously, there'll be injuries each week that throw you. This has been the best week so far, and we still when it comes to injuries, and we still miss Twal. Twal's down.
Yeah.
Hines is out. Like, there's still a rough time. Ero's still out. Like, it's rough. Yeah, I wouldn't be doing any sideways trades at all.
You know what? That's another little option. If I was to trade 12 next week and still couldn't afford Terrell May, maybe I just double up on the Couchy boys. I They're so
Doesn't cover you
consistent.
for doesn't cover you for 15. Like,
I'm
it's
I'm set for 15. I'm pretty sure I've got like 17. I'm
jeez.
absolutely stacked for it. Yeah, it's wild.
All
I don't
right.
know how
Well,
I've
then
done it.
we gotta get to the teams then, so we can see what you got going on. Let's
For
go.
sure.
What Sharks, Dragons, Sharks for sure. Shark Park.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah. The
Yep.
Dragons played their grand final like last week, let's be honest. Bulldogs and Eels. If this is not the epitome of a Monday game, I don't know what is. Um, God. I think we talk about Kiraz here, who we've pretty much already mentioned, so we don't really need to talk about him again. Um, who else can we talk about for the Bulldogs? Tupanua. He's been on a bit of a tear. Probably not
I
a
just
buy.
You can't buy any of them because of the buys. Like, that's
Mm,
why we said last week that Kiraz wasn't really an option, is because they don't cover 15 or 18. It's just tricky. Like, I thought about bringing in Kiraz just as a season hold, but and just wearing it, that I just didn't have the numbers. But with the injury cloud there, like, I don't know, it's just a bit sketchy. Connor Tracy's in the reserves. Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, and it's the last game of the week as well. So if he does pull out, like, what do? You can't do
yeah,
anything. So I just don't think you go there this week. It's If you didn't get him last week, then don't do it this week. It's too sketchy. And then Tupanua, absolute weapon, but with the buyers and like the number of players in the forwards that are great options, like, surely if you're looking at Tupanua, you just get like a KPP or something instead, who actually
yeah,
plays those, or even a Lemuelu, like from the Dolphins. Like, you need guys that are going to play these bye weeks, and then you could hold on to them. And in a few weeks, and it is still a few weeks away, but Preston and Kickow will come back, and his minutes will get
yeah,
reduced again. So it's just a we missed it. If you didn't get on earlier, then it's missed. I got him in draft. I literally drafted him on draft night, like in week 0. So I love Tupanua. I've been hyping him up, but it just hasn't worked out for me to get him in classic, and I've missed the boat, and I can't do it now. So
yeah.
yeah,
Um, this game is just poot slinger. Like, I reckon the Bulldogs probably get it done like 16-12, something like that. Very
yeah,
Monday-itis game of footy.
yeah.
At the Eels, we've skipped over them for fucking the last month, and the only thing that excites me here is Arpa Twiddle on the bench. Like, that speaks to how dire it is over
Nah,
at the Eels.
there is one. There's Iongi.
Yeah. That's fair.
So
That's fair.
I think I think Iongi, like if you're looking to do a little bit of fullback roulette or something like that, like he's bottomed out. He's as cheap as he's going to be, 5.59 right now. The Eels do cover the major buys and mini buys. Like they have the 16. They don't play the 16, but they play the 15 and the 18. Like if you're wondering, you want a pod fullback or something like that, then Iongi, serious option, less than 1% owned, 0.9% owned. Scored 93 on the weekend. Like it's just the Eels. How many points are really in them? But if they score points, Iongi's going to have something to do with it. He's a
Yeah.
really good player. So yeah, like I've had my eye on him a couple of times this season, but yeah, it just hasn't sort of worked out. But at some point, he's going to be quite relevant, I'd say. And yeah, like it just fullback's a bit weird at the moment with the bye period.
Mm,
So like it's not a bad option. He's actually not a bad option. So that's probably the only player in the Eels that I would say is not bad option, but also not necessarily a good option. So it's kind of
yeah.
tricky.
I think if he was in any other jersey outside of a Dragons one, he'd be at least 10% owned. Because I'm pretty sure from memory he has put up a decent couple of scores this
Yep.
year. He's probably going to score like 30% of the Supercoach points for this team as a whole. Like
Mm,
he's their bright spark at the moment.
he's only played 5 games, but he's had two good games in there, like a 99 and a 93 in those 5 games, and a injury affected game at 28 points there. But yeah, like it's not really a viable like it's not super viable. It's just if you're looking for something different, you're looking for a pod, you feel like you want to want the piece of the Eels or something. Eongi is like a half decent option. Like it's probably not the best, but he's the only relevant player on the Eels, that's for sure.
Yeah. And Arpa Twiddle, what a guy.
Nah,
Is he
he
off
won't
to the
play.
Bears? Or did
I don't know.
I think he's either off to the Bears or PNG or whatever. So I'm very keen for him to have a
Next year.
starting role next year. Yeah, we'll be looking at him for sure. I actually don't even know what
Potentially.
position he is. I'm pretty sure he might even be a half, but he's just come in
I'm
at
pretty sure he's a
center.
half.
Yeah,
Yeah. He played that one game on the wing where he scored 2 awesome tries or something. Yeah,
yeah.
but nah, that's not relevant. They're not relevant. Yeah.
Next year for him. Cool.
Yep.
That's everything we've got here. We will head back over here and have a look at at your not even trade. Have a look at trade.
Yep. As I said, Pezzett to Nicarima covers all the rest of the buys for me. Nicarima, the Dolphins, they look good. They've got a soft run. Worst case scenario, I can keep them as my 582 for the rest of the season. Although with my dual positions and stuff, I will be looking to bring in Hines at some point. And depending on how good Tamari Martin goes, I might end up just holding Tamari Martin for the rest of the season because, the Warriors halves have proven to be quite good this year. So yeah, not too sure exactly what the half and 5/8 situation is going to look like, but between Jaden Campbell's duel, Tamari Martin's duel, and some of the other duels like Purdue, I can I can basically move like anyone from the bottom half of my team out. Like I could upgrade Makassini and get Hines in a few weeks. So yeah, Nicarima is my guy to cover me for the next few weeks, and yeah, hopefully he has a couple of good games with the Dolphins.
Beauty. And I'm bringing this guy in. Bit reluctant because he's a bit green.
If you can do what Jake has done and 0 trades this week, highly recommend. If you've got the
Yeah,
numbers, just don't fret about it. If you I'm making one trade in anticipation for next week, just trying to get ahead of it a little bit because I'm a little bit short on numbers. So I can understand that. But if you don't have to, then I would say try and save your trades.
yeah. Even saving one is good, but like
Yep.
it after the amount of chat I've been spurting about saving as many trades as I can over this period, it feels good to finally not use one at all this week. Um,
Yep. Nice work.
Beauty. We'll move over to the teams. As you can see, I mean, mine looks exactly the same as last week, but I've got the reserve on Pasco, Lasardi, and Tolti. As I mentioned before, I think his minutes will be up with the omission of Carrigan, and I don't want to put a reserve on any Tigers outside backs this week.
Yep.
Well, centers
Nice.
and wingers. Buller, he's all right. He always scores all right, just not against the Panthers.
Yeah, nice. It's looking pretty good up there. Playing Paseka, he's going to do a good job for you as usual. Pretty happy with Willison and Stefano in the front row this
Yeah.
week, and my second row has been pretty stacked all season, and it's still looking very much that way. Thomas Cant, bit of a AE potential nightmare situation there if I do run a loophole, but hopefully he just doesn't play. He's one that I'm looking to upgrade at some point, or maybe I'll just end up nuffing him out at some point. But I am a bit, yeah, I'm a bit nervous about doing enough at all this year, just with the amount of injuries and stuff that we've had. So at some point, I might try and upgrade Thomas Cant to like a Dylan Lucas or something. But otherwise, I'm quite happy with my forwards here. If Twal comes back, great. If not, he turns into Terrell May, and from there, it's like maybe I'll upgrade a Willison or a Stefano to a Payne Haas in round 20. But otherwise, looking pretty good here. Tamari Martin is my loop option with Jaden Campbell. So that's why I need to vice captain somebody before that Broncos Titans game.
Quick question, Yoelu. When Robson was off at Origin, did he get a run, or what did they do
Nope.
at 9 there, or did they just not even play that week?
They, I
It
think
would.
they had to buy in 12.
I
Just let me
suppose
double
they
check
could
that real
always just
quick.
play Connor Watson there.
Roosters, they had the buy in 12, and then Robson and Watson shared the load for 13. So
Okay.
yeah, it was yeah, ULO is basically enough that I've just had there all year. That's why I haven't done any trades there, because Hook is a
Yeah.
crap spot. Like I've kind of got enough by accident with ULO. So yeah, it sucks. But this where like I wanted Pasco, but like I just couldn't bring myself to do it. Like it's just such a weird. Yeah. Anyway, there's
Yeah.
I've got
It feels
Pasco in
weird that
draft.
I'm the one that's ended up with Pasco.
Oh, I bought him in draft a week or two before you got
Ah,
him.
that's
So
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
You got a
but
piece of him at least.
yeah, yeah. So and he's in Chloe's team, so which was slightly behind the par to this week, so dropped a few spots, but still doing better than both of us. So
Yeah,
yeah,
she's
Chloe's team
fine.
is still good. Yeah,
In the backs, I've got the captaincy on Cleary. Um, Easy enough. I sent this screenshot over to Mac before I changed my VC onto Walsh, so that's the only difference there. And
yep.
we figured out that if I move Twal down to second row, then I can loop him with no.
Your one of your dragons guys or something. You could
Yeah,
sub
that's
him
right,
into
with
one of your
Hamish
dragons
Stewart. Yep, yep. Not Hamish
to get a
Stewart,
loop going.
Couchman.
Yep.
Yeah, so hopefully I end up doing that because if Walsh goes big, I think he goes huge.
Yep. So pretty decent CT dub. I think a lot of people are going to be sort of running with the Marju, Sarko, Herbie combination this week. So that fourth one is kind of the flyer. Hopewadi, not bad. Jenkins for me. But yeah, I got at the moment on my screenshot here, you can see that I've got the captaincy on Herbie. That's my safe option. I'm going to see what my gut says on Saturday, and I may well flip that to Walshy because, yeah, like I said, I think it's Walshy's team, and I'm just going to sort of go with my gut closer to the day. But yeah, not playing Jackson Purdue this week. It's probably going to be the week that he tons up again, just ironically. But hopefully Nicarima does the same thing, so it doesn't work out too bad for me. But yeah, and then yeah, I probably am leaning towards captaining Walshy, but at this point, it's yeah, Herbie, really good option. VC on Farlongo for me. Yeah, look, he was so good last week. Very unlucky not to get a try. He'll be a little bit better practiced on the goal kicking, and the Storm at home again. He should be electric. So yeah, he's due for a big one, and I definitely don't want to miss out on the chance to double that up. Plus, I have to VC early in the weekend, so yep, going for Farlongo.
I've just had a thought. Um, with there being so many captain and vice captain options this week because there's only the Warriors on the bye, I do think this is quite an important week to get your captaincy right. Um, in last week before, like Walsh wasn't great for us, but it didn't hurt us as much as that score would hurt us this week. So
Mhm.
maybe there's an argument to be made that the Farmworth captaincy is probably the right way to go because
It
he's
is if
yeah.
I wasn't ranked 45,000 overall.
Yeah, fair, fair.
Yep. So
Um,
yeah, if I was ranked higher up, I'd just captain Herbie, and I wouldn't mess around with it.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, I'm trying to make some ground, and yeah, a lot of people have Cleary, which is pretty scary. So I've just, like I said, I feel like the Broncos are going to put up 40 points, and Walsh is going to be a big part of that.
Yeah,
So yeah, I may as well back it and put the captaincy on him. But that being said, I actually feel like Farlongo could be the top scorer this week, just with how good he was last week. He's just an insanely good footy player. So
yeah,
yeah, if he gets a couple of tries, he's scoring 150 plus. So
yeah. Well, hopefully that
good
happens and it
work, mate.
makes it an easy decision for you.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people will put the VZ on him either. So that's where it's going to be a bit of a pod option for me. A lot of people traded him out last week for Walsh. So
Yeah, people are being very tunnel visioned to the present, I would say, with players at the moment. Like with selling Lasardi, he's been a gun all year. Like he's a little bit of a down period. It's all right. He'll come back. He'll be good. Same with Faolongo. Even maybe Walsh isn't the best comparison because he hasn't really done much for the whole year. But like, you, people are being a little too reactive to what's going on now and not the information we've got for the whole year. So
yeah, good
yeah,
point. Trades that you're making, this week, from this point on in the season, we're looking at making trades based on sorting out the buy coverage if you need to, or getting in season hold players that are for your end game. You're not messing around with trade roulette in any position from this point on. I don't think, unless you've got over 20 trades, and you can do that for a couple more weeks maybe, and like a fullback or halfback with the Origin stuff. But realistically, at this point, you're trading in somebody that you're happy to keep for the rest of the season if
yeah.
you get stuck with them, because the injuries will be the thing that forces your hand with trades moving forward.
That's it. And another thing that is worth saying is back end of the year, more injuries are going to happen. The longer players are playing every single week, the more these soft tissue, particularly injuries, are going to start happening more and more and more and more. It happens every year. Yeah, like I really do think post Origin you want 10 to 12 trades, 10 on the lighter end. You definitely don't want single digit trades from like round 20 onwards. You will run
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
It's a cruel ass game. But
that's it.
yeah, I think we
All right,
are all done
let
here.
us know. Let us know what your tips are for the week, folks. Get them in the comment section. Tell us what you think about our trades. Tell us what you're doing for your trades. How'd you go with your rank this week? And yeah, just keep us in the loop. We love to hear and see what everyone's doing. And yeah, make sure you get those tips in so that we can keep growing this prize pool. Well and truly on track for cracking that $1,000 for the end of the season. So keep getting those good tips in, and yeah, look for some value, but also don't go too crazy on it, because we want the prize pool to keep growing. And yeah, looking at those guys on the leaderboard there, I expect to see a couple of wins this week on the tips.
100%. It's actually a relatively normal round of footy this week. So maybe a line or two could be the way to go. Um, yeah, I haven't put too much thought into it myself, but just go Manly 13 plus. There you go. Easy money. Alrighty, we'll see you on the next one. Have a good one, guys. Good luck for the weekend.